Here we go, guys. 3 hours before flying home from Lisbon. It's actually raining, but I have to make this video. I hope it doesn't mess up my camera. Bear with me, my voice is messed up, but I just wanted to make a video with this backdrop. So today I'm gonna talk about a question asked by Amelia Conway, one of my subscribers from Australia. And she asked me about the concept of making it and hasn't made it, and what does that mean? She says, I hear people talking all the time about, you know, I'm trying to make it, or I made it, or if I do X, Y, Z, I have made it. What does that mean? Now, I spent quite some time on that question. And if I would have to answer that today, I have narrowed it down to this. To me, hasn't made it is being able to look back on your trajectory at the end of your life and have a minimal amount of regret. Meaning that you've at least tried to put yourself in a position to get lucky at whatever it was that you felt you had a special knack for. So allow me to elaborate. All of us, you know, we're born with some type of skill. Whether that skill is good looks, the ability to talk, a great brain, mathematics, whatever the case may be. So all of us, if we were brought up in the absolute best case scenario, best parents, best education, no childhood traumas, none of that stuff, and if we'd received enough opportunities, then we would be able to become one of the better ones at that thing that we're good at on a national or international scale. That doesn't really matter. So for example, if you grew up and you figured that you're quite good at writing, then to me, hasn't made it would mean that you actually would have written a book and tried to publish it. Now the outcome is irrelevant. All that matters is that you put yourself in a position to potentially, you know, get to that level where you would receive public credit and where everybody would be like, you know, you're one of the best writers I know. So for you, Amelia, I happen to know that you're an actress, hasn't talked to you before. I honestly feel you actually pursuing your dream of becoming an actress, like, I mean, obviously you are one, but I guess there's always levels. You actually being an actress, to me, that means you made it. Because I look at it like, we can't all win. Like somebody has to lose, you know, like we can't be all winners. And I hate to reduce it to winning and losing, but I feel like people in the end usually end up where they're supposed to end up. Like, I don't think life can be narrowed down to 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 different decisions. I think that we make 10,000s of decisions in our lifetime, and that in the end, we will end up the place where we end up. Sorry guys, I'm sleep deprived. I've been going out 4 nights in a row, so bear with me. Where we end up will be the average of the sum of our decisions, meaning that will be an accurate depiction or representation of where you should end up. I think far too often we think opportunities lie in that one meeting, in that one moment, in that one job opportunity, in that one casting, in that one book, in that one piece of art, in that one sports competition. I don't think that's the case. If you are good enough to really be considered elite by society, then I think more often than not, you'll end up where you're supposed to end up. I think true talent is undeniable. Now that being said, most of us are just a little bit talented. Me included. Me included. What I mean by that is, let's take me for example. I'm pretty good at talking. I'm pretty good at formulating my thoughts. I'm pretty good at relaying a message on camera. But if I never blow up to have 1 million subscribers and to tour the world doing seminars, then I can honestly say I'll be able to take peace with that, and I'll totally accept and understand that it just wasn't in it for me. My level of talent was not exquisite enough to be at that level. Now obviously there's always exceptions to that rule, but I do believe in general that is the case. So once again, hasn't made it means that you're trying to live out your best potential scenario in life. The worst thing is looking back on life, on your younger years, and thinking, woulda, shoulda, coulda. If you try, you can never fail. There is no failing. Trying equals you making it. And that's honestly, like, it's really as simple as that. Like, I've really narrowed it down to that. And I do think that also making it and becoming the best at something, or becoming top level at something, often will leave you more dissatisfied than the actual chase for that goal. And I think we have plenty of real life examples of highly successful people that switch careers or constantly need a new fix in the form of a new challenge, because the chase was just simply better than the catch. I want to remind you that the ability to observe others and to learn from others and watching how they move in life and to draw conclusions from that is one of the most important things you could ever teach yourself, or you could ever practice. We're not that special, we're not that unique. If you learn to observe mistakes and learn from mistakes made by others, then you can avoid that mistake. And that pertains to anything in life. If you see someone, for example, like I'm in my early 30s, I'm turning 34 in a couple of months, and I had quite a few friends who were not in the best type of relationship, I would say, honestly, but still decided at some point, you know, like, we're gonna go ahead and make babies, because often that is expected, especially if you're, you know, if you're together for X amount of years. And I have spoken to quite some people, my peers, that have told me, like, man, this ain't it. Obviously that's a taboo. You're not really allowed, you know, to speak on that. Like, anyone who would ever state that the fact that they decided to have kids was maybe or kind of a mistake would be crucified, you know, by their surroundings. Like, you just don't say that. And most of the time, I also think that it's not necessarily, they don't necessarily regret the presence of their mini-me, the presence of their human. I think they tend to regret the situation in which, the context in which they have got to that little human, if that makes sense to you. You know, I think a lot of people tend to look at it from a point of view where it's like, I've already invested X amount of time and energy into this relationship, I'm just gonna go for it. And again, if you have mutual respect and a clear understanding of what you want out of life, then I don't see a problem with that at all. It's always a matter of being aligned with yourself, what you feel and what you want to do, and to have your partner be in that same position, in my opinion, once again. And I am absolutely convinced that should I ever have kids myself, I might change my opinion, perhaps due to new input, due to new things that I've learned, or perhaps due to the fact that I would no longer be able to be rational and objective. So, and even me saying that basically, you know, is a pretty good summarization of what I'm trying to say here. Finding out what it is that you want to do is the best part. Trying, failing, and trying again is literally as good as it gets. And I can't stress enough that I think too many people are getting lost in this self-development, self-help tunnel vision, and they forget that there is no finish line. There's never going to be that moment where they're going to feel satisfied. So if you want to get better, if you want to focus on improving yourself, if you want to make it, and if you truly feel like that's what you want to do, go for it. But if you're just content with having a relatively normal life, a 9 to 5, not being your own boss, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And there is a very high possibility that in a couple of years, I will be working somewhere at a market department raising some kids. You know, I will have decided that maybe the YouTube game, the coaching game is too volatile, and I can rest my head every single night knowing that I tried. I've made over 500 videos. If I never got to that level, then I can honestly say that it wasn't in me. Like, it just wasn't in the cards for me. And that's great because I tried and I gave it a go. So I think at this point I'm speaking as much to you guys as I'm speaking to myself. Making it simply means to try and live out your best case scenario. And should you fail, then really you won. Because more often than not, the thought, the concept, the illusion of something is far sweeter than the actual reality of when we get there. Alright guys, I hope you liked the video. I'm about to head down to the airport. I got my bags packed, flying back to Belgium. Lisbon has been an amazing trip, amazing journey. I'm exhausted, but I'm happy. And I look forward to looking back on these little video diaries that I'm creating for you and for myself in a couple of years, and see if I'm still aligned with my current train of thought or not. And I'm excited knowing that I'm living out my best case scenario in this moment. So in a way, I've already made it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you have a question, like Amelia, then make your way over to my Discord, to the Q&A section, and go ahead and ask me anything you want me to make a video about. And I'll do my best to present my thoughts. Alright guys, see you soon.
Hi, my name's Spencer. I'm a filmmaker from Chicago. I'm a person who struggled with anxiety, OCD, and mild depression for most of my life. I've seen many therapists and tried many different medications. Recently, I was kind of looking for something more, to get more motivated, to get more things done, and I had just come across Lorenzo's YouTube channel. I just started binge watching, and I became so inspired about his attitude, the way he goes about things, and he just seems so genuine, so intelligent, and I just decided to reach out because I thought if he could make it through everything that he had made it through and be succeeding so well now, that he must know something. And I can safely say he does. He's so much different than any other therapist I had seen before. I felt like a more of a connection. I felt that everything that he was talking about with me was from experience that he had and not just something that he learned in a book. And I think that's the biggest difference that I could honestly say. So he's helped me so much with motivation, organizing my life, more confidence, and the biggest thing is to live in the moment. And I really appreciate what I have and who I'm with and what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And that was something I've never done before. So once again, I would like to highly recommend Lorenz, aka Wounded Viking. Please hit him up for life coaching.